Hello, welcome to Plutus Experience number 7. If it's your first time here, the link for the first video in this series is in the description. Please subscribe and tick the bell to receive notifications on new release. If you're following us so far, please leave a comment below. In this breakthrough, we're gonna do a small exercise. Basically, as a Cardano user, I want to see all my available funds in my browser wallet. To do that, we're gonna start by using this template for Plutus. You're pretty familiar with already. So I'm gonna copy and paste that command here. This is gonna create a basic structure with some files here, and we have the source file for pure script. We're gonna use that. We also gonna use this flake to add dependence. To use this project in the browser, I will add a byte as dependence here. So first thing I'm gonna do is to change this flake nix, and we're gonna add here a dev command that's gonna be the development environment of our application. So basically a shell application that's gonna use the pulse watch command that's gonna keep watching chains on the file system and reload as needed and rebuild as needed. It's gonna also use as dependence this byte command, which is gonna be an application to help us to bundle that to the development environment, and concurrently to run both commands in parallel. And if one of those commands are killed, the other one's gonna be killed also. So this is really helpful to have this single command to run the development environment. And the byte is gonna open a local HTTP server that's gonna list on some random port, and pulse watch is gonna keep watching for chains on our pulse files and reload and rebuild as needed. So here we have both byte, and this byte is a byte application for npm. And with this flag, we're gonna open this HTTP server. It's just local server on the browser, as every time that we run this byte command in the shell. And the second command is gonna, like I said before, listen for chains on this folder here and rebuild with Plutus whatever we change something in the source files. I'm gonna also add byte folder here, which is just boilerplate to be able to use byte. We can just add this in git ignore and we'll be safe. Okay, now I'm gonna run this dev shell command. So we're gonna use nix develop to enter the development shell. And from here, I can just run this dev command. It's gonna print hello world, which is just the source file, the pure script source file feature. Okay, this basically means that we need to add an index HTML file that byte can look for to use to run this JavaScript code there, the build JavaScript code there. So we're gonna need to do that. So a pretty simple index file. We're gonna use the main file from the output folder when we run Plutus compile. This folder is produced with our JavaScript compile code, and here I'm importing this main file from there. And with that, we can run that main function, which, like I said, is here in this hello file. So it's just this main function having this hello world here. So we can rebuild that again, and hopefully this is gonna open our hello world program. Yeah, you can see a white screen, but here in the console you're gonna see hello world. So it's working as expected. Now I enable a language server protocol, which allows us to use autocompleting and check docs inside of the IDE. In my case, I'm using Vim, but you can use any IDE which is compatible with language server protocol, which is the standard protocol to do this kind of stuff. So you should check the docs of your IDE on how to do that. But on the Persnic side, you're just gonna need to enable this optional feature for the language server protocol. So I'm gonna open FlakeNix and comment here this PS2 for PureScript language server is an optional feature. And to have access to this PS2, we need also to increment this piece of code here, which is gonna get this PS2 to attribute from Persnix PS2, and we need to get, because we're passing in those inputs here to apply systems, we can access PS2s right here. After that, we can just run a Nix development shell here. You can see we have added PS2 as input. Now I probably have the language server already working here. It's showing me that I'm using different PureScript version. It's a common problem we have when not having this in the environment the same compiler, which I try to use here on the IDE. To fix that, we're gonna also need to add the same PureScript version right here. So we need to enable this optional PureScript compiler here, so we can have the same PureScript for the language server in the runtime and not the one that I have in my system installed globally. So that's gonna fix that issue. So I'm gonna close and open again. As you can see, we have docs here. This is just working because of the language server protocol. Right? In my case, in Vim, I have pressed Shift plus keyword on my keyboard. Now we're gonna add Halogen as dependence. Halogen you're pretty familiar with already, so we just skip here and I rename this hello file to main, so we can have all the modules here. Now the name is main, and I'm gonna add a Halogen call here in the replacement of this main function. So of course we're gonna need to create this component. I'm just using a placeholder here, but let's see if the language server can locate that. I guess we also need to reload the development shell every time that we have a new dependence. That's because it's Nix, so Nix needs to reevaluate, and we need to run the development shell again to build and catch this new dependence. As you can see, we have a lot of new modules here, and the reason is that we have added that Halogen dependence. Okay, now we have this error on no value bind. You're probably using the notation which compiler replaced by call. So we need to add a missing bind there. Let me fix that. Let's see. We also need unit. Okay, now we have this error because we need to fulfill the component here. We're gonna create this component in a new module called wallet. This module is gonna have everything related with the wallet logic, like C balance and compute UtxOs and things like that. And the component itself is gonna be there. So we need to create this module. For a while, let's just use unit state here. After that, we can think on a more appropriate state. And we're gonna skip everything in the val right now. We're just trying to see if we can use Halogen in the browser. So we need to import this $sign operator and this const function from Prelude. Because gonna again this const function is gonna just return a function that receives another function. So in this case, we're gonna just discard anything being passed here because of this const, right? And we're gonna render a div a text hello world. That's it. Is our component. Of course, we're gonna need to import that unit. There is. Let's see if it's gonna build. We have an error here. No module wallet. Let me save here the main file again. Okay, we need to use the wallet component. It's reloading here, as you can see. And there is. We have the hello world here. Now I'm gonna remove the unused import here. And com chains.